It's no longer news that Ford is a global company based in Dearborn, Michigan, that is committed to helping build a better world where every person is free to move and pursue their dreams. Ford is always on relationships with customers to enrich experiences for and deepen the loyalty of those customers. Today, I'll discuss with you the company that nearly killed Ford. Welcome back to our channel. Stay with us. I believe we all have knowledge on AMC. It was an underdog American company and one of the country's last truly independent automakers. The marque's most famous car, the Gremlin, has been a star in movies and TV since it debuted. However, beyond the Gremlins and the Pacer from Wayne's World, the AMC story goes much farther than that. The last independent automaker was the fabled series story to be told in 2024. The series will be 6 parts, running around a half hour each. The series will of course start with AMC's inception, following its contribution to America's iconic muscle car scene, thanks largely to cars like the Javelin, which rivaled with the Dodge Challenger and Detroit Iron. The series ends with the demise of the company around when Chrysler picked over the bones and resurrected AMC's Jeep brand into an icon. According to the documentary, the story will be told by a number of former executives, employees, and engineers. That should provide some real insight into how AMC functioned in a tough domestic market. As stated by the filmmakers, GM, Ford, and Chrysler sold 90% of vehicles in America in 1950. The other 10% belonged to independent automakers. As the story goes, tiny companies are struggling to compete with Detroit's Big Three. At some point, AMC's wild lineup managed to outsell every brand in America except for Ford and Chevrolet. The series places an emphasis on the lessons to be learned here, especially when Jeep has been so successful for every company that has owned it since. Amazingly, it's been just over 35 years since the last independent automaker closed its doors. At its height, the company served millions and employed thousands. By all accounts, it was better on its way to turning the Big Three into the Big Four. How you'll be able to watch this isn't clear just yet. The film also has a fundraising page set up to help cover production costs. These iconic car companies were led to that point by a combination of poor decisions made by industry executives, high gas prices, unpopular products, and external circumstances beyond the control of both the industry and consumers, namely, a once-in-a-generation credit crunch that nearly took down the world economy. But the US auto industry has recovered thanks to the $80 billion lifeline provided by the Troubled Asset Relief Program engineered by the Bush and Obama administrations. Some years ago, with its stock price hovering at $2 a share, GM leadership told Congress that unless it received a federal bailout, it would not be able to pay its suppliers, meet its loan obligations, or cover the healthcare costs of its workers' labor contracts. GM endured a government-backed bankruptcy, reorganized its leadership, killed off unprofitable brands like Saturn, Saab, Pontiac, and Hummer, and devoted itself to producing more fuel-efficient cars and trucks. Consumers responded to these changes, and a newer, slimmed-down GM recorded a record profit in the third quarter of 2020. An automotive analyst and senior research director at Gartner, Mike Ramsey, said, "They were just given a big reset." He added, "You can see the results today in the huge amount of product that GM has been able to put out, and a lot of that is because they have cash and limited debt, so they can invest in new products." As said, Ford didn't go bankrupt, but life was tough. Just prior to the financial crisis, under the direction of then CEO Alan R. Mullally's One Ford plan, Ford had restructured its entire portfolio and raised $36 billion in financing from the capital markets. Ford sold Swedish-based Volvo, which it had owned since 1999, to Chinese carmaker Geely for $1.5 billion, and also sold Jaguar and Land Rover to Indian-based Tata Motors for $2.3 billion. These decisions allowed Ford to weather the downturn without the need of government assistance, which substantially helped the company's perception in the public eye amidst the crisis. Gradually, Ford's net income totaled $7.6 billion, a 65% increase from the previous year. Earlier this year, the company announced it will be ending investment in passenger cars in the US, except for Mustang, to focus only on trucks and EVs. At its basic level, the car companies got a well-financed restructuring, and the financier was the government, said Ramsey. The companies were essentially given a clean balance sheet and reset to a point that made them viable. We have some other car companies that want to kill Ford. Watch out for our next video. What have you learned so far in this video? Do you think the Ford company can be killed just like that? Let us know your thoughts and feel free to give a thumbs up. And also, subscribe to our channel, share this video, and turn on your notifications so as to catch our next fantastic video. Thanks for watching.